Hey, Wellbone World Entertainment, and this is the review, non-spoiler of course, for Beverly Hills Cop Aexl F, aka Beverly Hills Cop 4, which is now on Netflix. I thought it dropped later this month, but maybe they moved it up, or maybe I just got the dates wrong, but it's out. It dropped the other day. So, is it better than the third movie? I think that's the first question everybody has, and the answer is yes. It is better than the third movie. Is it great? Is it terrible? It's fine, to be honest. It's not great, but it's definitely not terrible. It's fine. It's enjoyable. There is the only thing I don't like in the movie. And it's not because it's bad acting, it's just the character comes off to me as unlikable, is the daughter. Aexl Foley's daughter. Who goes by the surname of Saunders for whatever reason. I'm assuming that's the mother's name. They don't really kind of explain that. There is a moment where he is kind of making fun of her using that name rather than Foley. But it's never explained that it's the mother's name, because he seems to be implying that she legally changed her name to Saunders. But it's just her character, just she's not very likable. You know, she's blaming everything in her life really on Aexl not being there. And the story with that, this isn't a spoiler because it's really just kind of what this character is. She's a lawyer. She lives in LA. So the story is that when they were, or I should say when she was younger, the mother and of course Aexl all lived together in Detroit, but some gang, something 12, whatever they were called, put a threat into the family. So Aexl moved the wife and the daughter to Beverly Hills, but he stayed in Detroit to try and take down that gang, and the mother divorced him, and the daughter blames him for practically everything, you know, that he never made an effort to be her father and all this stuff. And it turns out he did. She was the one who pushed him away. So, but it's just her attitude and stuff towards Aexl. Yeah, she just comes off as unlikable. To me, anyway, she came off as unlikable. She's the only part that I didn't particularly enjoy with this movie. Now, they don't do what you would expect them to do with modern Hollywood. She doesn't go front and center and take over for Aexl. She doesn't become girl boss or anything like that. Very much the opposite, in fact. So that, I appreciate that they didn't go down the expected road that they were going. You know, a lot of people, once they heard, it's his daughter, people were like, oh no, she's not girl boss or anything like that. There's only one other thing that I'm a little disappointed with, and it was actually the lack of Billy Rosewood. Yeah, we know the old crew are back, but Rosewood is barely in it. He's in the beginning, and he's like a very small part at the beginning, and he's pretty much in the third act, but he is missing for the majority of the movie, which is unfortunate. Taggart, however, is there, and there is a lot of Taggart. The first interaction with Taggart, you think, is that it? Is that all we're going to get of Taggart? No, there's a lot more of Taggart. Yeah, so getting the three of them back together, you don't actually get the three of them back together until the third act, you know, just to warn you. There are moments where it feels very, very, very Beverly Hills Cop, and what I mean by that is if you closed your eyes, you could almost feel and think it was from the original movies. There are moments like that. There's moments where it very much isn't feeling like Beverly Hills Cop, and that's usually around when he's talking with the daughter in cars. They're kind of driving, she's driving to certain places, and the conversation they're having it doesn't feel very Beverly Hills Cop at those moments. The movie does open with them playing this song that opened the original movie. So there's a good nod to that. There's a lot of the original music in here. Of course, the Aexl Foley theme tune is playing throughout the movie. And it's interesting because they do the original version of it, but then they do kind of a modern version of it. Where you can tell it's kind of, there's bits added to it and stuff. But then they do one version of it near the end, which I didn't like at all, where it becomes a rap song. They use that piece of music, but they put it into a rap song, and it just doesn't work for me. I'm sure there's people who will like it, but it didn't work for me. When he's driving the snowplow in Detroit, not a spoiler because it's in the trailer, they're playing the song that was playing in Beverly Hills Cop 2 when him and Billy are in the cement mixer. So there's another nice little throwback to that. Paul Reiser, of course, is back as Jeffrey. He's the deputy chief in Detroit, in their department. And when he's in the office with him, you'll notice a photo on the wall of the original captain. So there's a nod to him. They do take a little pop shot at Beverly Hills Cop 3. I won't spoil the joke or anything. I think it might be in the trailer. But either way, I won't spoil it, but it pops up when he's getting read what his arrests were and stuff in the original movies by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who's a good addition to this as well. He plays a character named Bill, so not to be confused with Billy, but Bill, who apparently did have a relationship with his daughter. And you find out that he was in the military but left for some reason, and now he's trying to be a detective. You're not quite sure whether he is or isn't, because there's a moment with him and Taggart where it seems that he's kind of punching above his weight. Kevin Bacon, of course, is in there. He plays a guy called Grant. Everything you probably expected from him, you will get. The trailers kind of make that obvious. It also does the very Beverly Hills Cop thing of it gets right into the whole action and stuff. You know, you're not waiting around for like 20 minutes or something for action to happen. It's very much the Beverly Hills Cop of it starting off. The budget for this apparently is massive. Now, when you see the helicopter scene in the trailer, it looked quite digital. You're like, did they really have to do the whole, oh, let's just do a CGI helicopters? Yeah, no, that's not the case at all. It's a proper helicopter. That's an actual stunt they clearly did with an actual helicopter. So kudos to them for doing that. The only time it looks a bit digital is when you're in the cockpit with Aexl and Bill. But you can clearly see that it's an actual helicopter flying around in the streets of Los Angeles or wherever they filmed. So yeah, and there's other moments with stunts where you get these proper on camera views of the stunt happening, and you can see the stunt men in the positions where this is happening, and you're like, wow, you know, nice one. Kudos to not just the stunt man, but for those type of shots. The helicopter scene is probably one of the most Beverly Hills Cop moments of the movie. It's a good scene as well, really well done. But that is one of those moments that it really feels Beverly Hills Cop. He does those type of moments as well where he walks into rooms and he's does the Aexl Foley thing, not where he's like Aexl, where Aexl is trying to just act like he belongs. You know what I mean? They work great as well. And when you finally do get Billy, Rosewood, Taggart and Aexl together, it feels like they haven't missed a beat, you know. And there's a great moment, a throwback moment to the first movie when they're having the shootout at the house in the first movie with Billy and Taggart, you know, when they're hunkered down. There's kind of a callback to that, but it works as well. It's funny. And of course, you were never expecting Taggart to be like throughout the movie running around with Aexl, because like he's old as dirt at this stage. He's, by the way, he's the deputy, or he's the chief of the LA department. By the way, we actually get to see his wife in this one. Maureen, isn't it? We actually meet her in this one. Serge, of course, is back. There's not a hell of a lot of him, but there never was in any of those movies. His part in this is bigger than his part in Beverly Hills Cop 3, but falls in line with the first two. But it was great to see him back as well. So, the new additions, the real only new addition that's like running around with Aexl is, of course, Bill, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and the daughter. Other than that, there's no real kind of new characters being thrown at you and stuff where you're kind of, oh, they're taking away too much from the originals and stuff. No. Taggart is still very much Taggart. Again, though, there's no mention of Bougainville. I can't remember whether they said where Bougainville was in Beverly Hills Cop 3. I'd have to rewatch it to remember. All I remember is when Aexl arrives in Beverly Hills and he goes to Billy's office. He's like, where's Taggart? And he's like, oh, he spends his days searching for his golf balls. That's all I remember. I don't remember them mentioning where Bougainville was, and they don't mention them at all in this movie either. However, there is the photograph from Beverly Hills Cop 2, where, if you remember, after Bougainville gets shot, and they're looking at the photo of Billy, Taggart, Aexl, and Bougainville when they went fishing. That photo is in this. You get to see that photo. That's the only part where you see Bougainville, but he's never mentioned. So I'd love to know where he's meant to be, what's going on, why are they never mentioning him. So yeah, that part's weird. I've always found that strange. That why are they never mentioning Bougainville? Overall, it's a good movie. Would it have been successful if they put it on the big screen? Would it have made money? I think it would just about scrape by, to be honest. I don't think it'd be this massive hit. I don't think it would be a failure either. But it is what it is. It's on Netflix now, so if you want to check it out, check it out. If you have checked it out, let us know in the comments what you think of it. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Were you disappointed by it? Or did you find it enjoyable? Like, just, yeah, it's fine. I found it, it's alright. By the way, the scene when he gets arrested, which we see in the trailer as well, with the two cops. It's two female cops. By the way, when he's getting arrested, that's the only moment in the movie where there's a bit of a kind of eye roll. It is a joke. But it's just one of those eye roll moments of being black. You'll see what I mean. But it doesn't take away from me. You think, oh, they're going to go down this road. They don't. It's just that one moment. Not just to mention, the two cops that are arresting him aren't white. In fact, and this is what I was getting to, the black one, because it's a black one and I believe a Hispanic one, the black cop, she's actually Eddie Murphy's daughter, one of his daughters. So, and there's another moment when they come out of the club. Oh yeah, Louis Guzman is in it as well. He's quite funny as well in it. He's a part of a cartel. When they come out of his pub, they get surrounded, and one of the guys behind Aexl is his son, not Aexl Foley's son, Eddie Murphy's son. So two of his kids are in there. But overall, I enjoyed it for what it was. You know, I wasn't expecting it to be Beverly Hills Cop or Beverly Hills Cop 2, because you're never going to get those again. So, I still had enjoyment with it. I think it's definitely worth a watch, especially if you're a fan of the series. So, with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers, and I will catch you in the next one.